For more than 11,000 years, Jericho has stood at the crossroads of history. It witnessed the end of the Ice Age, the birth of agriculture, the rise of permanent settlements, and the construction of some of humanity's earliest monumental structures. Yet the most controversial chapters of Jericho's story are still ahead. Because Jericho is not merely famous for its age. It is famous for something else. Before we dive into the main story, please kindly follow our page, like, comment and share. Also subscribe to our channel for more interesting video like this. Something that has sparked arguments among historians, archaeologists, religious scholars, and mystery seekers for generations. A city said to have fallen when its walls came crashing down. A story known across the world. A story that refuses to die. But what really happened at Jericho? And is the truth even more fascinating than the legend? Most ancient settlements eventually disappeared. Drought, disease, economic collapse. History is filled with forgotten cities. Yet Jericho seemed different. Again and again, it returned. Destroyed. Rebuilt. Destroyed. Rebuilt. For thousands of years, generations continued returning to the same location. But the answer remained simple. Water. The oasis that first attracted ancient settlers never disappeared. As long as fresh water flowed, people returned. Jericho became one of humanity's longest-lived communities. A place where history accumulated layer upon layer. Civilization literally built upon civilization. Then comes the chapter most people recognize. The biblical story of Jericho. According to the book of Joshua, the Israelites arrived after years of wandering. Jericho stood before them as a fortified city. The story tells of priests carrying sacred trumpets, armies marching around the walls, and eventually, the walls collapsing, allowing the city to be captured. For centuries, believers accepted the account as history. For centuries more, skeptics questioned it. Then archaeology entered the debate, and everything became complicated. During the 20th century, archaeologists searched for evidence. Could the destruction described in the biblical account be identified? Had Jericho's walls really fallen? Researchers uncovered signs of destruction, collapsed structures, burned layers, evidence that the city had indeed suffered catastrophic events during various periods. But dating those events proved difficult. And that's where the controversy began. Different archaeologists reached different conclusions. Some believed evidence supported aspects of the biblical narrative. Others argued the timeline did not align. The debate continues even today. Archaeology rarely delivers perfect certainty. Ancient ruins don't come with explanations. They must be interpreted, and interpretation often leads to disagreement. Some scholars argue that destruction layers at Jericho suggest violent events occurred. Others emphasize dating discrepancies. Still others caution against forcing archaeology to prove or disprove religious texts. The result is one of history's most famous archaeological controversies. A debate that continues to generate books, documentaries, and endless discussion. What many people don't realize is that Jericho experienced multiple destructions throughout its long history. Not one, not two, but many. Cities rose and fell repeatedly. This means that identifying any single event becomes extremely difficult. Jericho's history is not one destruction story. It is a cycle of destruction and rebirth stretching across millennia. Yet an even bigger mystery remained. Because while scholars debated biblical history, another question emerged. Was Jericho really the first city on Earth? Or had archaeology discovered competitors for the title? The answer would spark an entirely new controversy. At first, the question seemed simple. What is a city? But archaeologists quickly discovered it isn't. Is a city defined by population? Permanent buildings? Government? Trade? Social complexity? Defensive walls? Religious centers? Different scholars use different criteria. And those differences matter, because Jericho sits at the very edge of civilization itself. It emerged during a time when the concept of a city was still being invented. Jericho isn't alone. Other ancient sites compete for the title of oldest city. Sites in Mesopotamia, ancient settlements in Anatolia, Places such as Catalhoyuk and other Neolithic communities. Each offers evidence of early complex society. Each challenges traditional assumptions. And each forces archaeologists to reconsider where civilization truly began. The competition isn't merely academic. It shapes our understanding of human history itself. One question continues to puzzle researchers. How did early Jericho organize itself? There is little evidence of kings. No written laws. No recorded rulers. Yet large-scale construction occurred. Communities cooperated. Resources were managed. Society functioned. This suggests something remarkable. Complex organization existed before many institutions we associate with civilization. The people of Jericho may have developed entirely different ways of governing themselves. Ways now lost to history. Then comes one of Jericho's strangest discoveries. Archaeologists uncovered plastered human skulls. Faces carefully reconstructed. Features preserved. These weren't ordinary burials. They appear connected to ancestor veneration, memory, identity, possibly spiritual beliefs. The discovery reveals a surprisingly sophisticated symbolic world. A world where the living maintained connections with the dead, and where community identity may have stretched across generations. Some researchers see evidence of religion shaping society. Others see social organization driving cultural development. Which came first? Shared beliefs? Or shared communities? Jericho may hold clues, but definitive answers remain elusive. And now we arrive at the biggest question of all. The question that has haunted this documentary from the beginning. If Jericho helped create civilization, what exactly does that mean? And are we looking at humanity's first city? Or merely the oldest surviving piece of a much larger story? When archaeologists first uncovered Jericho's deep past, they expected answers. Instead, they found questions. Every discovery complicated the story. Every layer revealed unexpected sophistication. Every excavation pushed civilization further back in time. Jericho forced historians to rethink old assumptions. The origins of civilization suddenly appeared much older, much more complex, and much more mysterious. Here's something astonishing. Archaeologists have not uncovered everything. Far from it. Much of ancient Jericho remains unexplored. Future excavations may reveal new structures, new burials, new artifacts, new clues. The next great discovery could be waiting beneath the soil right now. History is not finished. The story continues. Throughout this documentary, we've searched for humanity's first city. But perhaps we've been asking the wrong question. Maybe the true importance of Jericho isn't whether it was first. Maybe what matters is what it represents. The moment humans began thinking differently, planning differently, living differently. For the first time, large communities chose permanence over movement, future over survival, memory over migration. Jericho represents one of humanity's most important turning points. The moment civilization began taking shape. The oldest part of Jericho is closer in time to the last ice age than to the pyramids. Think about that. When Egypt's pyramids were built, Jericho was already ancient, already carrying thousands of years of history, already a relic of a distant past. That fact alone reveals how extraordinary this place truly is. Imagine standing beside the spring at Jericho 11,000 years ago. Children running between mud brick homes. Farmers tending crops. Builders working on walls and towers. Families gathering as the sun disappears beyond the hills. None of them knew they were helping shape human history. None of them knew archaeologists would one day search for their story. None of them knew future generations would debate whether their settlement was the first city on Earth. And perhaps that's the greatest mystery. Because the people who changed history left behind no written message, no explanation, no final answer. Only clues. Clues scattered across thousands of years, waiting for us to piece them together. So, was Jericho truly the first city on Earth? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing is certain. It remains one of the most important places in the story of humanity, and its secrets are far from exhausted. Perhaps the next excavation, the next discovery, or the next generation of archaeologists will finally reveal the answer. Until then, the mystery remains, and the oldest city in history continues to whisper its secrets from beneath the sands of time. What do you think? Was Jericho the world's first city? Or is there an even older civilization waiting to be discovered? Comment your theory below. And if you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more hidden history, ancient mysteries, lost civilizations, archaeology, and untold stories that continue to challenge everything we think we know about the past. Thank you for watching. Please kindly follow our page, like, comment and share. Also subscribe to my channel for more interesting historic fact videos.